Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to Teleislas News with the most important news of the day. Today, the authorities met to commemorate the archipelago's patron saint festivities.
Every November 30th, celebrate the feast of St. Andrew the Apostle, brother of St. Peter, and patron of the Orthodox Church and patron of the largest island of the department. On the occasion of this special date, in the morning hours, local authorities proceed a mass to pay homage to the patron and leave a wreath. During this event, Cabinet Chief received the words of the Monsignor, who spread a message of union and hope for the community, especially after the pandemic and the natural phenomenon that shook the archipelago during 2020. Let's remember that for this important date, the government issued Decree 0501 of November 24, which decrees a civic day, as it is a day in which protocol and institutional acts of great importance for the insular community are conducted. However, events of great magnitude and that may present conglomeration are totally prohibited due to the current situation of COVID-19.
Next December 5th, young people between 14 and 28 years old will elect for the first time in the history of Colombia members of the Municipal Youth Councils.
Municipal youth councils are mechanisms for participation, consultation, monitoring, and control of public management and dialogue between young people and institutions. Their importance lies in the fact that they may participate in the adoption of public policies. They were established in Law 1622 of 2013, through which the Statute of Youth Citizenship was issued, regulating what concerns the national youth system. The norm was modified by Statutory Law 1885 of 2018. However, the election of the youth councils had not taken place. The main functions of the municipal youth councils are to act as mechanisms of dialogue and negotiation before the administration on youth issues, to coordinate the inclusion of youth agendas with the respective political and administrative authorities, to exercise oversight and control over public management. It should be noted that in these elections, only young people between 14 and 28 years of age previously registered and registered in the electoral census are eligible to vote. On the other hand, candidates must comply with the following requirements: be between 14 and 28 years old, to be domiciled, to demonstrate that he or she carries out an occupational, educational, or community work activity in the territory he or she aspires to represent, to be registered in a list presented by independent young people, by a public party movement with legal status, or by a youth organizational process and practice. Present per list a work proposal indicating the guidelines to be followed as youth councillors during their term of office, not to be immersed in any of the disqualifications foreseen by the Youth Citizenship Statute. Finally, it should be noted that the term of a youth councillor will be 4 years and will consist of 7, 13, or 17 councillors depending on the population density.
With 6 voting stations in San Andres and 1 in Old Providence, the archipelago is preparing for the first youth council elections, and for this reason, here in Teleislas News, we will show you a brief overview of the candidates who will compete in these elections.
Next Sunday, December 5th, the elections for the Youth Council will take place in the country. Only in San Andres, there is a potential 14,348 voters between 14 and 28 years of age eligible to vote. 48 candidates are competing in these elections. In light of this fact, today we will know the profile of Giancarlos Julio, a young student of law of 20 years old, candidate for the Cambio Radical Party.
What drove me to this candidacy is to see the big gap that exists between the common people and the politicians. I feel that we are a little distant, and that is not the purpose. On the contrary, the purpose is to be a little more united. My plan as such, when I made the proposal, is to develop all the skills of the people. Here there are many talented people in sports, art, and also with an emphasis on education.
The Rizal community also has a quota of participation in this election and is throughout the participation of the One Rizal Corporation. Here is the profile of one of the candidates, a young student of social communication.
The One Rizal Corporation was born out of a need, out of a concern that we Rizal youth have, which is to find an aspect of our identity, of our culture, that we have lost in a certain way. So we want to show that we have an interest. We have several axes that we are going to be working on. We are specifically talking about education, everything that has to do with higher education, which is the main need at the moment when it comes to going out to study.
The winners of these elections will represent the youth of the department and will participate in the dialogue and negotiation that the local government will conduct from now on.
And in other news, yesterday evening there was a conflagration in a commercial establishment in our department. From this point, Alice Medina gives us more information.
Good evening, Lisa and all the TV viewers. I say hello from here from the sector of Rockwall because yesterday this commercial place, catching a fire. So we come go talk to the commander of the fire station of our department, Willie Gordon, who told us why this fire catch, and also he told us that there was not big material loss in this fire.
Bueno, los vecinos del sector ven...
The neighbors of the sector saw the accumulation of gases and smoke in the premises and passed the report to the fire department. The vehicle arrives, the procedure of entering, extinguishing using new techniques of suppression, and then all the merchandise is kept in its shelf. The damages are minimal. There was a motorcycle that was being repaired that same afternoon, and an overheating is generated in the same vehicle, and that is the damage occurred to the premise. The merchandise that is on the shelf is full of smoke, but you can see that everything is in its place where it is kept. It suffered minimal damage. I would say that the greatest amount of damage to the premises is the accumulation of gases and smoke that is on the shelves. A cleaning and detoxification process of the warehouse must be conducted so that more than consumption of materials, the damage is all those gases or fumes generated by the burning material that is permeated in the structure of the premises.
The commander announced that due to the fast reaction of the fire station people, they get to extinguish all the fire and it did not pass to major loss in the material things. This is all the information we report from here from the Rockwall sector. Continue listening studio with more information.
Thank you, Alice. And the ICT Secretariat moves through the ICT Ministry with the Mission TIC 2022, a workshop that seeks to train young people and the community in general in programming. The idea is to broaden opportunities in the construction of educational and occupational trajectories.
A programming workshop that has 10,000 slots for Learning Route 1 that is aimed at students in grade 10 and 11 of educational institutions, and 40,000 slots for Colombian people over 15 years old who have a high school diploma and are interested in developing program skills. The best result in the knowledge test will be taken into account. The Secretary of the ICT on the island, Victor Turizo, commented on the matter.
The idea is to develop a digital content to train programmers. This call has two routes. One is aimed at students of 10 and 11 grades, and another route to people over 15 years old who are already high school graduates. To register, please go to the Mission TIC 2022 webpage, and there you can fill out all the necessary requirements to apply for this card. The inscriptions are already open until January 21st, 2022.
In the first route, the formative process is composed of two programs, Fundamentals of Programming and Digital Technologies and Digital Creative Industries. The second route consists of a basic and deepening cycle with duration of 7 weeks each. The basic cycle has workshops on programming, fundamental basic programming, and software development. In the deepened cycle, there is a web application development and mobile application development.
The ministry is seeking to close the digital gap of Colombians so that they can have appropriation in matters of technology.
It is worth mentioning that this training is free. The important thing is that the requirements are met.
Hello, here are the best sports of the island. San Andres is an area of the 12th edition of a national athletic race.
With the participation of the national and international athletes, the 12th edition of athletic competition was held in San Andres. The race had the participation of more than 2,000 athletes in the different modalities, and the male and female branches of 32 kilometers, 10 kilometers, 5 kilometers. Important world-class athletes also part in this event. We spoke to Moreno, the president of the event, who gave us
San Andres is a real jewel for the organization of many sporting events, a situation that benefits the economy of the archipelago. It is the 12th edition of this event that is special for us. We are doing it in the greatest jewel of Colombia with San Andres, but we obtained the fruits received that compensate a group of the government of San Andres, the police, the Navy, civil defense, and other entities that contributed to making this event of a unique magnitude, and some people said that it is the most beautiful and biggest event that has been held so far on the island of San Andres.
One of the winners and special guests of this event was the Colombian national team athlete Jason Bocanegra.
We are trying to look for the possibility of giving support to the different races at a national level on the subject of reactivation after the COVID. Basically beautiful. I think this is a great opportunity to come and have a great race besides visiting the beautiful beaches. To all children and young people, I think on a personal level, and all this leads to a healthier lifestyle that they will surely appreciate in the future.
The semi-final of the Colombian professional basketball began at the Midday Coliseum. The 4 best teams of the tournament that qualify will fight for 2 spots in the final round of the W Play League. In the first match of the first key, Cimarrones of Providence will play Motilones del Norte. In the other key, Titanes will be facing Caribbean Storm from San Andres. Alex Corp give us his opinion of the national basketball final.
That classified that going to play semi-final, and I think the best team on the show in the regular season, our Team Caribbean. I think I'm playing of the team, and with the play more